Hey! Hi, everybody. Hello, you've just been listening to the Tender Band. You're going to hear a little more of them later, and you can also find them on Bandcamp. I am Joshua William Gelb, for those of you who don't know me, and welcome to the Theater in Quarantine. It is Thursday, May 28th, and it is 9 o'clock in New York, at least. I don't know what time it is where you are, but thank you for tuning in and joining me here in my East Village apartment, where a couple months ago I converted my closet into a white box digital performance laboratory. A little over a month ago, we streamed our first live performance with an adaptation of Kafka's short story, The Neighbor, and followed that up 2 weeks ago with an unauthorized edit of Beckett's Craps Last Tape. Both pieces are available to view on this very channel. Now, we are continuing these live streams every other Thursday, so please check in June 11th for the next installment of Theater in Quarantine Live, where we will be performing a brand new play by Scott R. Shepard, inspired by Donald Bartlemy's short story Game, and which we are calling Topside. I've never worked with Scott before, and so I am really thrilled that he's written something specifically for the closet. So that's Topside. It's 2 weeks from now on June 11th. And that's only the beginning, because we have a lot of great projects coming up every 2 weeks, plus pre-recorded videos that we're going to be releasing in the meantime. So I will try to keep you informed about all of them here on this YouTube channel or on our Theater in Quarantine Facebook page, which you are welcome to like or follow. Now, if you if you enjoyed tonight's performance this evening, please consider subscribing to this channel. And if your enjoyment swells to the point of wishing you had paid for it, there is indeed a digital tip jar down in the description. So just follow my link to my the Fractured Atlas page, where all donations will be divided between me and tonight's collaborators. Tonight we are returning to our roots with an evening of 3 short dance works by choreographer and Theater in Quarantine contributor since the very beginning, Katie Rose McLaughlin. Now, 2 of the pieces may seem familiar if you've been on the channel before. Corners 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with music by Alex Weston was one of our first full videos. And Kaleidoscopetry, with music by Nate Stevens and Nehemiah Luckett, is an expansion of the Kaleidoscope study we released last week at the Tank Gala. Both of these pieces were originally pre-recorded in the closet with all of the camera movements edited in post. Tonight we figured out how to perform them for you live. Now, we're also premiering a new experiment with music by Gavin Price and John Gasper of the Tender Band. Also video and sound design by my invaluable Isadora mentor, Justin Nestor. And featuring, for the very first time, a second performer in the closet, Emily Pacilio. So after the performances, please stick around. I'll be talking via Skype to Katie Rose, and we are very happy to answer any questions that you would like to throw into the comments section. So let's get started. I'm going to take a brief 1-minute break so that I can go into places. This evening is a little less than 20 minutes, so sit back and enjoy Closet Works. Okay. This is gonna be like a really janky shot by one person trying to manually focus a camera.
But that's sort of like, that's very much in keeping of this whole experience, is that you've had to do everything by yourself. You've had to learn this technology. You've had to solve all of your problems by yourself. You can't just like call someone in to fix it for you.
I thought this would be a, am I in focus? Is this any better? Am I in focus? Yeah? No? Sort of? I thought this would be a good chance while I'm between pieces to give you a little introduction to space and maybe show you around a little bit. This is my apartment in the Village on B and 9th Street. What motivated me to build the theater in quarantine? I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I had sort of been thinking about it as a joke for a really long time, and when the stay-at-home orders came in, I just started building it, thinking maybe when all this was done, I'd finally like manifest that joke of an idea. And then I suddenly had a white box, and it was just as easy to put a camera on a tripod and start filming things in here. And suddenly it opened up an enormous amount of possibilities.
Enjoyed last weekend. The sunshine and low humidity made it the perfect weekend for dusting off the grill. I don't know about you, but I was able to perfect my recipe for cheeseburgers. Trade secret, I put the cheese in the patties. I know. Now let's see what the weather is like today. Up north it's very windy and cold. There is a chance of some rain too, so don't leave home without your umbrella. Galoshes too if you have them. You're gonna want to stomp in those puddles. The temperature is around degrees. East, it's rain all day today, I'm afraid. High chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon, but high probability of a rainbow sighting around 6 p.m. The temperature will be a bit higher, hovering around. West will be dry but cloudy, so no rain for you, but it is quite windy and the temperature is just degrees. Perfect kite flying weather if you ask me. You folks in the south have the best weather today. It's cloudy most of the day, but sunny this afternoon, just in time for a nice nap in the hammock or to tool around the garden. With temperatures hovering just above degrees, make sure you get out and enjoy it. Looking ahead for the rest of the week, we'll see a large warm front sweeping over, pushing that cold air down the coast, so we're expecting blue sky throughout most of the week with short periods of showers likely. This weekend, we're looking at relatively no humidity, though temperatures might rise to a whopping degrees. Bad news for the snowmen, but good news for those of you looking to swim. Water temperatures are expected to rise along with air temperatures, so it's a perfect time to grab that surfboard or fishing pole and head out to the pier. That's it for the weather. Back to you.
It is a closet 2 feet deep by 4 feet wide, 8 feet tall. So there are a couple tricks to the closet so far. There is a handle here, you can usually see that can actually support my entire weight. I also have a very rudimentary fly system, 3 eye hooks. I've also got this little panel right here, which mostly I use to cover cabling. It's got another hole for an extension cord in there. There's no way in, there's no way out. There's a simplicity to the space. I think we're all trapped in boxes right now, and everyone can relate to what it means to be stuck in a very small space. I think you're used to seeing it from here, but I'd love to show you a little bit of the backstage area as well. And by backstage, I mean my living room, which has production on us. Well, this was enough time for me to get into places for the next piece. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can continue to tune in, subscribe if you can, share if you can. Otherwise, I'll see you Thursdays, and gosh, I really miss being in the room with other people. I miss being in the room with their collaborators. I miss having someone on the other side of that lens telling me that I'm out of focus or that I should shift this way. It's infuriating and sad making work like this. But also, what else are we gonna do? Hi, everybody. We are unmuted. Thank you so much. I'm just seeing all the comments now, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. 2 in one night. That one's tough. I'm going to actually try to Skype in Katie Rose right now. I'm actually going to shut down a bunch of other programs because that seemed to help matters last time. So yeah, I'm going to try and Skype Katie Rose. If you have any questions about the piece or about the process or about the project in general, we are absolutely willing to answer anything you want to throw into the comments section. So here I am bringing Skype in. And let's see if we can make this happen. So this is the tricky part. This is the wild card right here. We've spent several weeks really aiming to do away with technical issues. And during the earlier show, it was just Skype that gave us problems. But there's Katie Rose. That's a great sign. Katie Rose, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great, I can hear you. Now I'm going to bring you in. And now everyone can see you.
Hey.
And hopefully hear you. But I can hear you. Say something.
Lots of things.
Yes, I can hear you, and everyone else seems to be able to hear you as well. So firstly, I should introduce Katie Rose. It seems like you have a lot of fans in the comment section already. But I also just want to say that Katie Rose is a choreographer and an incredible collaborator. We've worked together on many, many pieces for many years. And you were absolutely the first person who I spoke to and sort of brought into the closet to start working on material. And anyway, I'm so thrilled that you've been involved and that we've been able to, find this time to work together still. So hi.
Hi. Beautiful work tonight. It was a lovely show. You did great.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm tired now. So I'm also drinking some Aberfeldy right now. During the 9 p.m. we drink a little more. Anyway, we've already got a question. So I'm just going to throw that in there, unless you have anything you want to just throw out first.
No, let's answer questions.
Okay, great. From Scott. Hi, Scott. Good to see you.
Hi, Scott.
Would like to know how we did the Kaleidoscope live. Katie Rose, do you want to jump in? Do you want to start?
How we did? I mean, that's a technology question. I feel like I want to give you time to breathe, but also, I guess I'll say that we made the piece first, not live.
It's true. Yeah.
And actually, how we built it was Josh started the kaleidoscope itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I created the piece, the movement, based off of being able to see what the kaleidoscope was, which was really fun. And
That's
also
true.
using the board, which gave us an extra height that we could really play with. We made a lot of discoveries, which was really fascinating. And then, so we made the piece for the TiQ Virtual Gala, which was last week.
Yeah.
And then we asked Nehemiah and Nate to make the piece, the music, a little bit longer because it's such a beautiful, beautiful piece of music that I feel like could be, 15 hours long, and I would happily love that. And then we just sort of expanded the piece based off of that.
Yeah. I think funny enough, we built it very quickly, if I recall. It was maybe built in less than 2 hours, if that.
Yeah.
The night before the TiQ Gala, we knew we were going to do the Kaleidoscope. And so we built it very quickly. And only later did we realize that we liked what we built. And that we didn't mind seeing it without all the cool kaleidoscope effects.
Yeah. Well, I think that we had some really specific I don't know. I think I was having a really hard week or something. And like, we like vibe wise, it just sort of like, it like, locked in quite quickly. And so it was like, we were able to build the piece quite quickly because we understood like the sort of feeling of it.
Yeah. We've got another question for you from
Great.
Mr. Ian Axness. Hi, Ian. It's great to
Hi,
see you.
Ian.
Could you describe some of your fundamental choreo thinking with regard to the closet? Big question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's been so interesting because it's been like a really fast learning curve. The first thing we learned is that Josh is an incredible dancer, which has like made the whole thing really easy, which is great. Choreo thinking. I think the thing that I've been most trying to achieve is like an exploration of the space. The first thing I did when Josh was like, "Hey, I turned my closet into a theater," was we had a conversation about why he turned his closet into a theater and the feelings that he was feeling. And, this was like right in March when everything started. And so I was really interested in using those feelings to sort of explore this new space and explore this new theater and explore this new medium. So a lot of it has sort of been trial and error. A lot of it, I've been really interested in the architecture of the space itself. And I find that those explorations of the architecture tend to also get at the sort of emotions that a lot of us have been feeling lately, and the sort of roller coaster that we've been on.
And I think particularly in terms of the second piece, kind of we're trying to explode the architecture a little bit. And open it up into the real world of Long Island, where Emily was dancing, was recorded dancing. We didn't do that live. We thought about it, but it was hard enough trying to get this Skype conversation to function, so we figured baby steps. I want to just also mention that Ian, who asked the last question, also collaborated on a piece in the closet. It's called Concerto for a Toy Piano, and you should check it out on the channel. It's really awesome.
That piano is like right behind you.
Yeah, it is. If I pivot, no, it's covered with stuff. But yeah, it is right there.
Everything's just right there.
It's all in the closet. It's all right here. It all used to be in the closet, and now it isn't in the closet. Yeah. What was it like choreographing remotely, but not just remotely? Like we have gotten used to working remotely, you and I think, and we've kind of created or cultivated a system. We've numbered the walls. We have our own vocabulary, and we're getting more and more used to what it means to be rehearsing over Zoom. That being said, with the second piece, if you were planning on going out today, you had to like choreograph kind of 2 steps away, right? Not just to me, but but like another dancer, Emily Pacilio, who wasn't in the closet at all.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was thrilling because we did choreograph everything live. Like Emily was live on Skype while we were in Zoom looking at what the closet was and what was happening in the closet. So we could see, I could be like, "Oh, Emily, I want you to do this." And then that would inform what I wanted you to do, Josh. But it was also crazy because you couldn't do things like, it's hard for a bunch of people to talk. Like when you and Justin were trying to figure out, Justin Nestor, we're trying to figure out a like technology issue, and Emily and I were trying to work on choreography, but Emily was on Skype and not on Zoom. So we would just have to like sort of wait for a little bit.
The reason being that Skype, we could get into the projector and into the box, whereas Zoom we can't quite do that, or it's a new thing. So yeah, that's why.
Yeah. So that was tricky. We couldn't just, there's all those moments in live rehearsal when you can just like take someone aside and be like, hey, can you just do this? And it would take like 2 seconds. And those things just take more time. Which is, I think we've just learned that things just take more time, like both because I have to use my words and can't use my body really to show you what I want you to do. And then also because technology, and you've had to learn how to use all of this in like sane technology to make all of this happen.
Well, we're definitely pushing the tech to do stuff it's not really intended to do. It's really excited that we're just talking to each other in 2 windows right now. It's working seamlessly. Scott is actually asking, could we share some of the vocabulary? And I think you were just kind of hitting on it. It's all about language, right?
Yeah. So the first piece that Josh and I ever made was Corners, that last piece that just performed. And so, it started with me. In order for me to be close to the monitor to see what you're doing, it's easier for me to use my words than if I were to show you my whole body. I would have to go like across the room so you could see it. And that way I can't see what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I, as a choreographer, am always more interested in what my performers are doing and using their facility to tell a story or to create a feeling. And so it was just a lot of me being like, Josh, raise your right hand. And then I would be like, put it on the wall, not that wall, the other wall. And so that's when we started. Josh, we numbered the walls. It's like wall 1, we point to wall 1.
Wall 1 is that wall.
Yeah. And then it's like corner 2, wall 3, corner 4, which is obviously how that piece got its name. Yeah. We also recently in planning had to sort of go to the also downstage corners and give those negative. That's like -1 and -5 and like 6, I think.
Yeah, it's only occurring to me in other collaborations that people are like, okay, because they're adopting the number system. Everyone is like, okay, so what's the corner by the floor? And I'm like, oh, we don't have numbers for that, but we need to have numbers for that.
Yeah, because it's actually like, I feel like as a movement person who's used to being like, hey, move your arm like this, let me show you how to do it. It's been really frustrating to only be able to use my language. But that said, I feel like you and I have come up with a sort of fast way of doing it that's overcome some of those issues and allowed me to really explore and to play in ways that I usually get to do in the studio, which is really exciting.
And you and I have worked on many, many shows together, both as director choreographer, but also choreographer performer, and in so many other capacities. So I feel like it's we do have a shorthand with each other, which is what makes it so functional, I think.
Yeah.
We have another question for you. How do you choreograph? This is from Lily Fossner. Hi, Lily. How do you choreograph for a space that you have not been in, cannot be in, and are not familiar with?
That is such a good question.
That's true. You were never in that closet. I know that.
No, never in the closet. I want to say, it's been an exploration through Josh. Josh is, obviously, as you can see in these 3 performances, like a very game performer. And so I would like come up with an idea and he would help me try to solve it, both using his body and then using the space that I was never in. And it's been really like, oh, let's do this one thing. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Let's, we want to explore more of the space. So let's bring in things to get height. You put that handle in and now you can go upside down, which is crazy.
Yeah, sometimes. Just made it today. Just made it.
You did it and it was great. But I think that I think at first I was like, oh, there's no way for me to really understand this space without having been in it. But now I actually feel like I understand it more because I'm only doing I'm only looking at it the way an audience would look at it.
Yeah.
And I'm really like going through your sort of point of view on how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making things that only feel good on you and are only made for that particular space. We're not making it in a studio somewhere else and then bringing it in. It's like just there.
Well, I remember originally, well, at the very beginning, and we're talking the first couple days after I had built it, right? You and John Levin hung out with me and began messing around on Zoom with the gas mask. And there was a lot of discovery in that very first session where we started to realize like, oh, actually what's more interesting about the closet is that it doesn't have to be treated like a normal performance space. Yeah. It's actually gravitationally a lot more fluid. And the more we treat it like a normal theater, the less interesting it is. And I think from there, we just started taking off, and immediately like Corners was the next thing we did. And that was like totally an embracing of the fact that we're not tied to anything in this space. Yeah, totally. And that was, you're right, that first rehearsal where we like built something that was like very theatrical and very much like something that you would see in a normal theater. And then we were like, let's just try something else. And we took everything out of the space. And then John and I started moving, like literally picking up our laptops and like flipping them upside down to try to see what it would look like if you were, oh my gosh, what if you're like sitting with your back on the floor and your feet on the wall? And that's really where Corner sort of came from, and playing with that. Yeah. That shifting perspective. And I remember like very early youth saying things like, yeah, okay, but like pick that up and do a spin. And I would say, there's just 2 feet here. There's no actual room here to pick something up and do a spin.
But we solved that problem. That was for the neighbor.
Oh yeah.
And
with the chair.
With the chair. Mm-hmm. And so what we figured out is that you could only move like 90 degrees. You couldn't move 180 degrees, but that your body could spin. So we could get you up on the chair and spin. So it was a lot of like, it was really exciting for me sort of as a choreographer, because I feel like a big part of my job is to solve problems. And that's what I love, is being like, okay, how do we do this, but do it more up tempo or, something like that. And you're like, it's physically not possible for me to do what you're asking me to do. And so I had to come up with new ways of making what I wanted to happen in a space that I had never been in before.
Yeah.
But the good news is like, you're also so game. So I know that it's not that because you don't want to, it's because it's like literally impossible.
Yeah. Well, and I am particularly stubborn. Oh, Scott, thank you. Thank you so much. Scott says, you guys are just ... Thank you. Thank you. Danielle.
And Aaron
King
was watching too. Thank you both.
Oh, Danielle King says, I love this conversation. You too. I'm trying to like emphasize the capitalization. It's not, I'm failing. Anyway, thank you, Danielle. And yes, Emily, the handle. Yes. But, I was going somewhere. I was going to do some fan service to the comments section, and then I had another thing to say.
Oh,
and then I gave up, and I don't remember what it was.
We were talking about things that are physically impossible.
Yeah, that's everything. That's everything we're doing. Well, it's 9:39, and the questions have seemed to have dried up in the comments section. Shall we start to wrap things up, perhaps?
Great.
Yeah.
We still have 27 people watching.
We have 27 people? Oh, see, yeah. Katie Rose can see that. I can't see that. Part of the... then we can keep going, I guess.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that's good. Part of the...
Just keep talking until there's no one left.
I mean, it's really good for YouTube views, right? Part of the thing that's been a problem for us.
Oh, more people are right. More people are commenting also. Sorry, I just interrupted you.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. And Mary Kate, you're watching? Oh, it's wonderful. That's a good question. How confident were you that the handle would support your weight? I didn't know but I did, it's not just screwed in, it is bolted in. So I made sure. So actually, what this closet, I don't think, well, it's definitely not original to the space. I know that. It's an old tenement, floor through. And I've met the old woman who lived here in the 1950s. So I know what was here and what wasn't. But that being said, it was actually a really unfinished closet. I think it was just something that had been thrown up by the previous tenant who got kicked out when she was Airbnb-ing it a lot. So it seemed to be like the closet where she kept her stuff, I think. So it had a padlock on it, I guess. Anyway, it was totally unfinished. And so when I decided to do this, as you kind of saw in that video, I actually threw up 3/4 ply onto the sides of the walls, not on the back, so the back is less secure. But I knew I wanted something that would hold me and hold things. And so I wanted something really strong. And so I know that the sides of the closet can sustain a lot of weight. I just have to install things well. And so, that's why the handle is bolted in and should... it was still scary the first time I did that move, and I think I was a little drunk and improvising and messing around, and I videotaped it by chance and was like, Katie Rose, we have to do this.
And then the next day you were like, yeah, I did that move like 50 times, and now my arm really hurts.
Yeah, I was in so much pain for 2 weeks. My hip today is a little funky from that move, but,
It's worth it.
Over 30s, over 30. Well, thank you, Mary Kate. It's great hearing from you. I miss you. Mary Kate says, thank you, I love you too, and I love the closet. Lily, hey, is the music live? And if so, what are you listening to in your ear during? Hi, wow. The music is not live. The music is all pre-recorded right now. I'm hoping someday soon to get some live music. Katie Rose and I are deeply obsessed with a band called the Westerlies, and I've been trying to see if Riley would maybe do something live somehow. I don't know. Dealing with live music is a bit treacherous because audio lag is just a thing that streaming has not conquered. So I'm hoping we can figure out a way to somehow make it work. What am I listening to in my earbud though? I am listening to the music. It's a sound reason. It's just an audio monitor because I want you to have good audio. All of the audio on my computer is being filtered digitally to you and is actually not coming out of my speaker system at all. By playing, exactly. So yes, that's live. Lily is clarifying. Live meaning playing in your place, not the band being live. I don't have any audio coming out of my speakers, so I have to put it into my ear. That being said, I will tell you a dirty secret. Whenever I have text, I am generally feeding it to myself. So I'm not memorizing.
But you're really good at doing that. Not all performers are good at that in-ear stuff, and you're like very good at it.
Mm-hmm. The Beckett was insane. I'm very grateful that we've moved on from the setup that we had 2 weeks ago, because that one was so bad. I was literally talking into a mic. So I was getting not only my lines, but I was getting the feedback loop from my mic as well. I was basically getting my lines 3 times over, sometimes before I said them and sometimes after I said them. And that was wild. That was like a whole Beckett play in my head that no one was privy to.
That hurts my head just thinking about it.
It was not pleasant. Yeah. Oh, Karen Briscoe. Hi, Karen.
Oh, Karen.
Karen asks, how much of a delay is there between what you're doing and what we see? There's a weird amount of delay involved. So, I don't exactly know perfectly. I do know that... Oh, yeah.
Wait, sorry. You keep talking, and then I can show them.
Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, okay. Scott is mentioning that he's streaming on the phone and the computer. There's a delay even in that.
Yeah.
So I do know there is about a half a second delay between, in the first place, my in-ear monitor and what you're hearing, which is why I'm not always perfectly in sync. So I know that. I know that there is about a 10 to 20 second delay on what you are seeing right now and what Katie Rose and I are saying right now, which is why Katie Rose is not listening to the audio of that. Otherwise, it starts to feel super strange and time travel-y.
Yeah.
So that is also true. It also seems, so basically I run sound through QLab. I'm sure most of you are familiar. Video, we are newly through Isadora, which processes video so much faster. But sound definitely makes it to our streaming platform, which is Ecamm right now, not OBS. We made a switch and it is working, so we're going to stay here for now, even though you do have to pay for it. But the sound gets to Ecamm definitely faster than the video, which routes from QLab to Isadora to Ecamm. So there's a tenth of a millisecond delay, but it is noticeable because Katie Rose has given me notes on it.
It is noticeable. It's getting so much better than it was before.
Mm-hmm. But there's,
it was when we first started working on the Beckett where you were crumpling an envelope that had that window in it, which has that like really specific crumply sound, and I was hearing that sound like a full 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, that we can't do that.
Yeah. Fighting delay is one of the biggest issues of dealing with text. A lot of people say, why do you do dance so much in this project? And it's because it's easier than dealing with the audio delay. It's a little more forgiving, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's something about the text has to be right for this. I think at least what I've learned about the space is that whatever we do, there has to be made specifically for that space. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there's something really like fake and sort of dead about it. Like we've tried a lot of things. We've tried a lot of different kinds of text. And it was really like, oh, there's something about this that doesn't feel right. There's something about this that doesn't feel right. And at least from my point of view, it was like, it's because this wasn't made for this space.
Yeah.
And whatever we make, we have to adapt heavily. And movement, and the box just to want movement. And it seems to be quite powerful.
Yeah.
In space.
If the person's not moving, the box has to be moving. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did everyone leave?
There's still 20 people.
Gosh, what else can we say?
No, I think we can be done. There's 19 now.
Okay, people are starting to leave now. Thank goodness.
People are starting to leave.
18? 18? 17?
No, we're 19.
Dang it. Holdouts. Well, we can start working on our TikTok dances.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Friends, you are in for a treat. Josh and I are obsessed with TikTok, not making our own videos, just watching other people's.
Yeah.
But I think that we're gonna start making Josh learn all of those dances that all the teenagers are doing.
We have a question. Serpecia. I am really mangling that username.
Oh yeah. Ryan, his actual Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Hey, Ryan. What are your upcoming projects? Well, next week we have this play by Scott R. Shepard from Underground Railroad Game. Really exciting. And that is going to, not next week, sorry, on June 11th, our next show. And we are going to do that. And I'm very excited. Yushin Chen, the designer, and Gavin Price, who is with the Tender Band and also worked on The Neighbor with Katie Rose and I, are also working on that. Katie Rose and I tomorrow are going to wake up and make a new piece which is going to be a pre-recorded one. Emily Pacilio says, thanks, can't wait for the TikTok. And don't worry, you can duet with it. We're going to figure it out. Tomorrow we're making a piece for Lab Schul's Reveal-a-thon marathon. It's like 24 hours on the 30th and 31st of really awesome artists. And we're going to be actually featured quite a bit. They're just going to be showing a bunch of our videos, and we're going to try and make something new tomorrow with a new set piece I found in the trash. And we're going to install it and just make it. So that is tomorrow. And then after that, after Topside, Scott Shepherd's play, in a month, we're doing an adaptation of Molière's The Imaginary Invalid, the first installment of an adaptation of Molière's The Imaginary Invalid, which Katie Rose is going to work on, which is being adapted. Adapted by myself and Dave McGee, and I'm really hoping we can get Jesse Shelton to be in it, which is basically a big reunion for the Party in the USA crowd, which, you know, many of you did not see, but is a piece that we worked on in the olden days at Incubator Arts.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. But it's an amazing crew, and it's going to be a really manic, really insane, wonderful piece of theater that we're doing a reading of on Saturday, which is to say it's a month away, and we have never read it, and we've never worked on it whatsoever. So we're really working in 2-week increments here. In general, people get the 2 weeks out. You get priority of my time and my space. So for the past, I'd say week and a half, we were really working on this evening, right? But in the meantime, I've been having meetings and rehearsals with other shows. And as of probably this weekend, Topside is what we're going to be focusing on. But we'll also be doing undercurrents of Molière until that takes over. Sally asks, are you getting outside? Are you getting outside, though? The answer is sometimes. I took a walk today. I always take a walk on the show days. Is that a bad answer?
No, I think that's great. I mean, it's still like, you know, it's different here than it is in Minneapolis or in other parts of the country still. And especially where you are in the Lower East Side. And especially as a, like, immunocompromised human being.
I have asthma, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but wait, how do people find out about the shows that are happening?
You know, honestly, I wish we had a better answer for that. We're still working on it. We've got the lifespan of a 5-year theater company in a matter of 2 months in a way, and so we're still working on some of the basics. Like,
and we
how
still
do
only
people
have
find
one person running everything, and that's you. And you're also the only performer.
Yeah. But anyway, you can like and follow the Facebook page. That's probably the easiest way. Instagram's annoying because they don't link outside. So I love Instagram, but it's not useful to get to YouTube. My website, I have to remember to update. So I'd say the Facebook page is the way to go.
Great. Facebook page.
Oh, no. Someone wants me to make a website.
Ryan, I said I wanted him to make a website too, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
someone will make a website for you.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Just out in the universe. Wouldn't that be great if someone did that? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be one page.
It's true. It just needs a schedule and some links.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how. So there's some amazing stuff coming up. Please do check it out. Please subscribe. That's probably the best way, actually, to keep going, to keep hearing, to keep learning more about the projects. It's so bizarre because at this moment it sort of feels like things are letting up a little bit, and it feels like we're starting to, move on. But I also feel like theatrically that might not be the case for a little bit. And so we're going to keep going, and we're programmed almost through the summer. and I assume we'll keep going after that. And I'm very excited, and I hope Katie Rose will keep choreographing more material, and I look forward to when we feel like we're ready to do another one of these nights. And anyway, we should probably call it because it's almost 10. And anyway, I wanted to thank Katie Rose for your amazing work. Thank you. And I want to thank all the other collaborators this week. So incredible. I'll name them all, and I'm going to try the best I can. Thank you to Aberfeldy. Let's see. We've got Emily Pacilio, Justin Nestor, Nehemiah Luckett, Nate Stevens, Gavin Price, John Gasper, and Alex Weston. I think that's everyone, right? We did it?
I wasn't paying attention.
I think I did it. Thank you all for being part of this. Thank you all for sticking around and talking to us tonight. It's really special. Thank you, Owen. Thank you so much. It's really special. I live all alone in here, and so it's definitely a highlight of my bi-weekly living experience.
Yeah.
So all of you stay safe. Be well. It is a weird, dark world out there. And anyway, I wish everyone the best, and hopefully we'll all see you soon. So thank you, Katie Rose.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.